Joe Simon. I'm not sure if it's his last. I know he went into doing some stuff. Oh, there's something on it. Hold on. I'm Dave, owner of Future Past Vintage Collectibles. This is my daughter, Rachel.
Hello.
We bring you various comic content.
We sure do.
That's what we do. We just had a live sale on Instagram, our 5th one.
Yes, on Monday, this last Monday.
So we're starting to ramp up into doing that. Waited a long time because we wanted to be able to really commit. We have 4 people working, all family, but 4 people work those every Monday. So it's fast and it's streamlined. I was so bored watching some, just trying to get to the next book, that I wanted to kind of turn that on its ear and not do that. So luckily I have family members that so far are willing to help.
But that's over on Instagram. I'll link it down below if you want to follow us over there, because we're doing them every Monday over on Instagram from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we are always featuring new stuff over there.
I put a lot of focus on it compared to shows and everything else, because I'm really building a community of people that are looking for certain books. We do specialize in Bronze Age, so this last sale we had 50 books from the Monterey collection on there, and I talk about that collection all the time. But it's worth talking about. They're uncirculated books, Bronze Age books all the way back to 1971, 72. And, I've been able to pick some up along the way. And I had a lot in the 20 years I stopped collecting that I just kept. We're really focused on grade, too. Very fine plus is kind of not what we're trying to feature. We really, near mint plus. I try to stay away from doing 9/8 because people don't care to buy 9/8 in raw that often. That's kind of what I do when we process books. So we take them up and I look to see if there's going to be any 9/8, especially from this era, but from everywhere. If they're not 9/8, we grade them. We're pretty strict, so we'll grade them the same way we would grade them if we were sending them to CGC, in our prior pre-grade. And then it could take time to go through a box.
It does take a lot of time. We're about to look at some books, but we do have a giveaway we're going to announce later on in the video. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we had announced a giveaway last week. We have a winner.
Yep, we do.
So this is one of the boxes I pulled, and I'm starting to process it in. I'm really focused on this era. I know what's in this box. It's always different, though. When I look at the software and then I pull the box out, it's a completely different experience.
Well, for you. For me, I'm a software person.
Yeah.
You like to see it.
I got to see it.
Yeah.
I really do. So I got this box, and we're going to go through it, and I'm going to just kind of talk about the books in it. These are all 70s books.
And these are books that we're planning on selling. So this is like our process of okay, we're going to look through these books and see what we need to do to...
I don't know if I'm going to sell every one of them.
Possibly, though.
It actually... It's not easy.
I heard the collector in him just now when I said that.
Well, there are books that it feels like an absolute shame to sell for $10. I mean, and I won't, because I know I can't find one for $10 like that. And that's kind of what it is for me. I know what the market out there, and if I'm holding a 9.6 or a 9.8 and I just throw it out there and I look at the data and it says $10, I know better. It's not $10. Some of these books are worth hundreds of dollars in 9.8, and that's why I go through and get the 9.8s out. That's what we're doing now. So
yeah, if you guys are interested, we could do a video on how we price out books, because there's a whole process there that we can definitely show you and let you know what that looks like. Let's look at some comics. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I actually have some books before I get into this box that weren't part of this collection, but they were part of another one. I meant to show last week, and I'd already taken them out to rebag them and stuff. So here, why don't we show... From 1990, you got the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is the first comic book depiction of this movie, and I actually went through them. Very cool. It's like just like the movie, and then it goes into stuff about the characters in the second issue, and great from Caliber. So I love that. So I got these strictly based on condition. They were in a multi-pack. They were still wrapped in a multi-pack. These are 9.8 candidates, all 3 of them. I could not find anything wrong. I need to get them under the microscope and do what I do, but if I'm going to slab them or not, I'm not sure yet. I just love books in this shape, and they're great. And what I really like is the quality of these books. I love this kind of grade.
And they were in one of those plastic bags, so I'm surprised that they're so nice.
And Rachel had gone through them and realized that they're all different series.
Yeah, it's like a variety pack, so 3 different series of different numbers. There's a 6, a 43, and a 101 from the different SAC series. There's a lot of them.
20-cent cover on those too, which is an interesting 20 cents, because if you look at 20 centers from DC, this is 20 center from DC and then a 20 center from that. So pretty interesting. Anyway, I picked this up recently, and I didn't show it. But
this was at Frankenstein that you got this one.
Yeah. It's such a nice copy. I looked through every one of this person's boxes. I didn't have a lot of time, but it was someone I knew. Blue Moon Comics, actually. And I found this, and it's a 9.8 candidate, and it's just so nice. So I don't buy hot. I buy condition, I buy era, and certain books. Certain books excite me more than others, but anytime I find a book like this, I paid their asking price. They asked $25 for it. Mm-hmm. So this is one I'll just probably slab at some point or just add to my inventory. And one more book I got at the Frankenstein show. Bruce Jones' goodness right there. I like the zombies.
I know we've talked about it.
Like these zombies, man. That's the kind of stuff I like. I really do like Pacific Comics. Let's look at some more books.
So this is a part of a collection that we bought.
Right, this is one of these boxes I just grabbed, and this one had a lot of bronze in it. Yeah, that's a Monterey book right there. I have the whole set of first issue special. So I've cherry-picked some of this, so things are not going to be complete in here. This is just kind of the remnant of a cherry-picked box. I love the 2001 Space Odyssey. Not hot. They're not on anyone's list. You're not going to see a show about it unless Machine Man comes along. Machine Man shows up in issue 8. And in issue 10 is his second appearance. But they're great Jack Kirby books, and they're books I've always liked. I've had full sets of this in near mint. I've gotten lots of 9/8 of this before from the Bagman. He had multiples of this. And these are from that same collection, but someone else bought them. And I got all these adventure comics, and they're all Legion appearances. And there's some dandies in there, and I'll stop you when you get there. I'm not going to go into the key significance because I don't know it by heart, and we didn't write it down. But I like that cover. This was an era I used to read when I was a kid, but I really don't remember. My brother does, though. He knows what's going on. I think you're starting to come up to some of the Neil Adams. Yeah, there's another 12 center. These are all probably mid-grade to high mid-grade. Another great cover. Not expensive. $15, $20 books till you get to books like this. That's a Neil Adams cover, and that's even a higher grade copy yet. So this one is a candidate. I'll look to see how it is. Anyway, yeah, I like the adventures. I like the Supergirl, the adventure comics with Supergirl. This copy's not as white as I'd like it to be. Haven't really processed it in, but I really like those to pop. Those are not from the Monterey collection. I can tell just by looking at it. This is, though. I got the entire set of All-Star Squadron, and they're just pristine. So I pulled this one out, which is one of the earliest pieces of McFarlane art. That in DC. Still picking out issues of The Demon. I sold some in our last live sale. Looking forward to them getting those copies. They're super nice. I've picked a lot of these Amazing Adventures out of here, and I'll give you the whole stack. I looked at this, and this is probably an 8.0 or an 8.5, so I haven't processed it in. It's the lowest grade one. That's the first appearance of Killraven. That's kind of the one that I really wanted to be in high grade, and that's just the way life is sometimes. So, and I think I pulled up some data on this one just to kind of give you an idea.
There's 11 9/8s in the census, 316 total copies of this book. A 9.6 sold for $361 in January of this year, and a 9.8 sold for $2,800 in 2021. Neil Adams Interiors, Romita cover.
Yeah, nice book.
It's a nice one.
Nice book. And then we have other pieces of the run. I have this entire run, and all of them are high grade. I found one copy that I'm processing through right now that was an 8.5. Everything else is at least a 9.2, 9.4 with some 9.8 candidates in there. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't say there's two 9.2s. They're all 9.4, 9.6, 9.8. So it's nice, and they have a bounce. They're all white pages. They're just great. So
nice.
They look a lot better
here's this one.
in better bags, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, these bags are all wrinkly.
And then there's some random series, like this Cosmic Boy series here. That came out in 88 or 89. They're still in the original bags. They're like, the boards are all yellow.
Yeah, we need to rebag all of these books in this box.
Yeah. Copy of DC 15, 100-page Super Spectacular. Looks really nice. These books tend not to bode so well after long storage in these types of bags. So you'd have to have a much thicker bag, I think, so you don't get any pressure on the spine. It starts to crack. This is kind of a usual suspect. Anyone from my age group that had a collection, they've got a copy of this. This one, it's a great book.
Yeah.
It started a lot of changes in DC. I want to show you guys real quick this box that we work from. Yeah, the way I keep books is like in boxes like this because they're superior to boxes that will have a cardboard piece here, and this is thinner, creating a pressure. And as they slump, it's just one more barrier. So this is completely flat. So we've migrated to these. We don't use any long boxes. We only use short boxes like this. And when I process books, this is just a little bit of a hack. The best way for me to do this is as I take books out that are in order. This is the first book we took out. I'll put this in backwards like that. And then I'll put them all in. And when I handle them in the middle and I slide them in and I don't bend them. If they start to slump, I just push the bottom lightly and I'll keep loading. They're all still in order. So what happens is when I get to the end of the box, I will have the box looking exactly the way it did before. It'll just be going the other direction. But it'll still be in order. And then I know the next book I'm on because it faces me. Anyway, that's some box management. We do this all the time.
So my dad mentioned that we went from long boxes to short boxes for a lot of different reasons. But the boxes that we use now are Gemini boxes, the ones that have the flat sides that we just showed you. We used other short boxes that had cardboard folds in the middle that also cause problems. So that's what we use. That's what all these are.
Yeah, and we move a lot of comic books and we move a lot of weight. So, I mean, when we're doing, 1,000 pounds, 1,200 pounds, and we're going back and forth, short boxes are the way to go. Using anything with wheels when you have a distance, is just conserving yourself because especially loading into conventions and doing things like that, there's a lot of work there. But we want to protect the books.
Yeah.
Our goal is that they go from point A to point B. Another thing I would tell you is that as you take a book out of a box, if you're looking at them, always take them straight out, put them right back. They're not your comic books, right? They're someone else's.
At like a convention.
Yeah. Anytime you're looking at anyone else's books.
Yeah.
I do that with my own books.
Yeah, even with your own. So
when I grab like a stack like that, I grab them in the middle. The box should be pretty packed. Not so much that I can't do this.
Yeah, usually like finger tight. Usually you
Right.
be able to put your hand in like this.
You should be able to put your hand easily, but they shouldn't be like, let's say, more than 6 or 8 inches away from the edge of the box because when you set them somewhere, they'll slump the other way. These bags and boards are thin, so I can probably fit 175 books like that. In the bags and boards we use today, it's probably less, more like 125. And if you start using Gerber stuff, even less, like 100.
Yeah, 'cause they're thick.
Yeah, so there's a weight difference too. They end up weighing 4 or 5 pounds more. Anyway.
Yes. We have a lot more books to show you, but before we show you more, we're going to announce our giveaway winner from our last video. So if you saw our last video, we got one of these comic shells from the company Comic Shell, and they gave us an extra one to give away to you guys. So I randomly selected a giveaway winner from the last video, and the winner is, drum roll please, it is Jacob Bornowsky. Congratulations. You win this comic shell. So if you could just email us, our email's down below, and we will get this sent to you. Really nice. The people at Comic Shell also gave us a discount code for you guys. It is Futurepast. So if you go to thecomicshell.com and enter that at checkout, you'll get $5 off. Congratulations, Jacob. Let's look at more books.
Comic books. So I actually have this whole set. I think I cherry picked the number 1 out. I haven't sold it yet, but I'm looking at it for if I want to slab it or if it has potential. I have this, golly, going up pretty high. Really, the number 2 has like a color break on it, but 3 and 4 are super high grade. So this is kind of stuff I love picking up out there. Any completist collector, and I have more Fantastic Four in volume 1 than I have of any other comic book. People want the highest grade they can get, So this is from the same Monterey Demon Run. And those Fantastic Fours were also from the Monterey collection. I'm finally getting all of these out. This was just a random book in there. Yeah, I haven't really looked at it or anything, but it just happened to be in this collection. Then you got some more Fantastic Four annuals. The next one's got a pretty cool Doom cover. That's as high as they go, I think, but I have all of them. So now I'm going to process them in and look into offering them up for sale, which I haven't done yet. So I have the whole run of Forever People, and I know that I processed some out. Don't think I may have sold even just 1 issue. I haven't slabbed any yet. Just going through them. More Jack Kirby, DC, Fourth World, goodness. Not incredibly expensive books until you get to 9.8. Oh yeah, I got issues 1 and 2. I think it was a 2-issue miniseries, and that was by Simon from Superman #1. This was one of his last series, I think. Joe Simon. I'm not sure if it's his last. I know he went into doing some stuff. Oh, there's something on it. Hold on.
Okay.
Show how it was.
So this book, this little piece of paper was like in the back of the bag.
I love this stuff. I hadn't noticed that because I really hadn't processed these in yet.
I don't know, so I'll show the book and I'll read
Is
what
that
it says.
number 1 or number 2?
This is number 1.
Yeah,
so it's in the back of number
Brother
1.
Power, the Geek, DC Comics. If I remember, 1968 or 1969. I know it's one of them. This was just a weird book. It was, at the time, it was just a strange book.
And so this is a cutting from a news article. It says, "We can tell you about one almost appearance of Brother Power, who is not a geek. He has never bitten the head off of a chicken. That may not be general knowledge. Remember a few years ago when Green Lantern got ticked off at the Guardians and came back to Earth to resign? In a fit of pique, he slapped an artificial satellite out of his path and he approached Earth. Well, sir, in that satellite was Brother Power, who was shot into space at the end of his second and last issue. Writer Len Wein intended to have him show up a couple of issues later, but left Green Lantern before he could write the story. As far as we know, Brother Power only actually appeared in his own two-issue series as a Who's Who entry and in the Swamp Thing annual written by Neil Gaiman."
That's awesome.
That's really interesting.
Yep.
Well, there you go. More than you ever needed to know about Brother Power.
I had an early copy of Mr. Mixelpizzle.
Mixpizzlix.
I never say it right. So
We have to go ask our friend.
Yeah, I know. I do have a show that the correct pronunciation.
We'll link it right here. You can watch it.
Link that. I had an issue of that, and I opened it up, and there was an obituary. I think his name was Jim Reeves, the first Superman on television. There was a black and white television show, Superman.
Okay.
And it always started off faster than a speeding bullet.
Oh, yeah.
More powerful than a locomotive. Mm-hmm. Able to leap tall buildings in a single. It started off the same way. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
But you've never seen an episode.
No, I only know that because of you, probably.
Maybe. I was wondering if that had left a mark on pop culture.
I mean, I think it's a trope.
It's definitely a trope to me, but I didn't know if it was a trope in your generation.
I think it's a trope, yeah.
Anyway, it was his obituary. I sold the obituary for $50 on eBay, like in the very beginning of eBay.
I wonder how much that worth now.
I
got a lot now.
I kept the comic book and sold the obituary.
All right, here's some more books. I have this whole stack to look at still. Here's a bunch of Human Torch.
That's from a miniseries. I think has he got 4? Yeah. It's a 4-part miniseries from the 80s. Dig it? Yeah, there's 3 newsstands. I got to go through those.
Might be worth something. We don't know yet.
Well, I think they're more attractive to people when they're newsstands. Not necessarily me, but I always look for them now. It's like...
Yeah, I know you're not a big newsstand collector, personally.
But I get it. And I there are times that I would like the newsstand copy because I'm really competitive.
It's Ghost Rider and
It's a competitive thing. It's like, well, what's a better copy? Well, it's a little more rare if you have...
That you want to spawn one newsstand so bad.
I don't know about so bad, but
we found like 4 of them the other day. None of them are newsstands.
I get it. I get a little more excited about finding one if it's a newsstand. That's for sure.
All right, here's some Invaders. This is number 22 and 23.
I have this whole set. Some of the issues were really nice in 9.4. I haven't found a 9.8 yet. I haven't gone through them all.
Iron Man.
Yeah. This one was just in there, and it's kind of like I don't know, fine, very fine. Love that cover. I had a 9.8 of that. From the Bagman, because I bought his Iron Mans, and I sold it on Comic Link.
Oh, yeah.
So that copy's like,
It's not as good. All right, Justice League of America.
Yep. He had a pretty long run of Justice League, and these are all Bagman. So he had bought all these from Steve Johnson, and I'm glad to have them. I have a lot of Justice League from the 70s that I'm putting together, and have been for a couple of years.
And in case we haven't mentioned... When he says he, it's the guy he bought all these books from.
When I say he, I mean the person I bought this group of books from.
Yes.
Who we both bought from Steve Johnson.
So he had a lot of Bagman books.
Yeah.
And we use a lot of words interchangeably. So Bagman equals Monterey.
Am I boring you guys with all that?
Well, I just don't know if like people can track with
I appreciate
verbiage.
I might need the help.
But just know that.
Yeah.
We'll have a key somewhere. Karate Kid.
Yeah, I got the whole run of these. The number 1, it was like a 9.6. People aren't that interested in it, and I don't care. I'm keeping them then. I love them. I think they're awesome. Karate Kid ended up joining the Teen Titans. So, yeah.
That's interesting. We've shown this one a bunch of times.
Yep, we've had that. Lots of issues, but he had one, this particular collector liked Marvel, and so there were certain things that he really focused on.
Here's another Karate Kid.
A little later in the run.
Mm-hmm. Legion of Superheroes.
Super nice copy. All the Legions. I mean, I have every freestanding Legion all the way up to like 2 years ago. So I think I have this whole run. I might be missing. When I say whole run, I'm talking about the Jack Kirby Our Fighting Forces run from the early 70s. Love these in high grade. For me personally, I didn't find any 9.6s in that group because they're all black covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just tough.
They look good in the top loader.
They're still nice. They're still got that buoyancy and they're still fresh, but they were really tough to keep in. I'd love those in like a 9.6, 9.8. But they're going to be very expensive. If you found those out there in 9.8, they're $300-$400.
They're probably not even slabbed.
If you even find any. I doubt you could even find one if you looked.
I feel like people that collect those probably don't slab them.
People that collect those don't sell them, I'll tell you that. This was just in the box, and I know it's something that just got announced. It's got some, it's on hot lists, and that just doesn't even excite me. Let's keep going.
It looks very boring. Okay.
I'll sell it, okay?
Remember OMAC, you guys?
Yeah, One Man Army Corps. There's another issue that, God, those covers are just sick. Look at that oozy, like, energy coming out of that thing. Somebody in our live sale said OMAC looks like Elvis. Or was that you?
That was me.
Yeah. Rachel thinks OMAC is Elvis.
He's got, like, he's Elvis with a mohawk.
He is. If Elvis was punk. Punk Elvis. I
don't like that idea.
That'd be awesome. Can you imagine if Elvis started at CBGB's? All right, anyway. Joe Kubert series. Cool. These are Bagman issues. Haven't not processed them in. I'll sell these when I do, though.
This one always looks like a gray tone cover to me.
Yeah, I think it could be, actually.
Is it?
It looks like a gray tone cover. I've actually had 9.8s. I've had 2 or 3 9.8s of that over the years.
Did they do gray tones in the 70s?
Yeah.
Interesting. Always learn something new.
Shade Changer Man. I have this whole line. I don't know why there's just one issue there. And this is Steve Ditko. And he really had his own way of doing things. So I like the shades.
Old shadies. All right, here's a bunch of Submariners.
Yeah, you can just fan those out. It's the whole miniseries. Bunch of newsstands in here too. And they're $1.50 cover prices. So once again, I think these are 88. Anything after 85 is when it actually starts making a difference. See, I'm not sure if I'm going to sell these as a set. I don't think I'd sell them individually. I'd probably sell sets like that. Because if you don't have any issues, why would you want to go look for a copy that matches the 196 you got, This particular collector really chased after Legion. Not very high grade. I'd call this mid-grade just from glancing at it. So that's the Neil Adams cover. That's a cool 15 center.
I think it's like mid-grade.
Yeah. What DC did at this stage is they started going 25 cents. They got extra money, put in extra pages. So there's a whole era of DCs that have that white stripe down the side, and there were 25 centers, 48 pages, I think. These are the earliest Legion, and as we're going into Legion, these are cool Superboys. This is part of the era that if I can get really high grade copies of this, I buy these. So these are all Monterey's, and you can just kind of fan them out from here. I have a ton of these that I'm processing in, and it's like when I do a series like this, it could take me several weeks to go through them because I'm doing other things as well. The reason it takes me a long time is a lot of these I'm going to submit. I've got 9.8s in here, and 9.8s in these are in the census. They're under 10 in a lot of these issues. So.
And by submit, we mean to CGC.
Yeah. She's my attorney.
They submit them where? Submit them to the fair?
No, they beat them to submission.
Yeah. Here's some more Superboys. Superboy.
Yep.
Oh, some of them have grades on the front, so just ignore those. I like that one. Dinosaur.
What was the grade on the front?
6.0. So not great. It doesn't look like a 6.0. Well, it doesn't look like a 6.0 in the bag, but...
I actually get really aggressive and downgrade as hard as I can because I know I find more stuff once I take them out and get them under the lights.
Yeah, it's better to undergrade than overgrade.
Get them under a microscope.
because then it tells you all of its tales.
Good books don't look good under there.
Before we end this video, we have a couple more books to show you, but I just wanted to remind you guys to head on over to our Instagram where we do live sales every Monday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
We have a lot of fun over there. And also, follow us on eBay. You get special discounts if you follow us over there, and we are always listing new items. We also just got a Shortboxed account.
Yeah.
So check us out over there if you've ever used that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it helps us a lot.
If nothing else, give us a like because that helps other people see the video, and it'll help more people find our channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Help us. All right.
Let's show you the rest of the books that we have.
So I got some more of this Fourth World Jimmy Olsen stuff in here.
All this is Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, this is the Jack Kirby run. I think there's some Adams covers intertwined in here. Yep. I would not say these are popular. They're not in a hot list anywhere. This isn't about spec. It's about Jack Kirby, for one thing. Some of the craziest art he ever did is in these books.
I hate this one.
And that one's supposed to be a crazy issue. I don't know if you guys watch Comic Tropes, but he had a whole episode, which is worthy. If you don't mind, link it in the description, about Jack Kirby. That was phenomenal. He does some of the best historical comic book content I've ever seen. Anyway, got a few more left.
Oh yeah, these are the last three. So here's Swamp Thing 55.
That's like a minor little, that's kind of a hotter book in the run.
I really like the Swamp Thing covers.
Yeah. I like Swamp Thing, period.
Here's West Coast Avengers number 50.
And that's just in there. I don't know why, but he had a bunch of the West Coast Avengers. I actually was able to get a 9/8 for number 45 from his collection. I already submitted it. I still have it, which is the first appearance of the Clear Vision. Some people call the White Vision. Okay, this is an obscure comic book, and let me tell you about it. So I've had this before from Steve Johnson, the Bagman. And the deal with this book is that it's an early appearance of Animal Man coming, he's getting ready for his own series.
Oh yeah, because he's down here. I was like, is he on the cover? He is. He's right there.
Appearance of Animal Man, and this had some heat in the 90s. I'm kind of laughing even talking about it. It was a hotter book in the 90s. There's another issue in Wonder Woman where Animal Man's in it, but this is an early crossover from him, and he ends up with his own series in the 90s. That was acclaimed, award-winning series. We have some more boxes we pulled. We're going to do them in different episodes because we know you guys don't want to spend the entire evening with us today.
I mean...
That's it.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.